Good morning, Knicks Nation. Hope everybody's healthy today and safe. Today is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. Today, I'm going to be discussing two things. First, I'm going to talk about LaMelo Ball in the New York Knicks. And then I'm going to be talking about some draft rumors that I think may be relevant to the Knicks. And I'm going to do, I guess you could call it a mock draft, but it's not going to be. It's going to be a very rough mock draft. I'm only really going down to 11 or 12, but it's because it's only to me interesting in how it affects the Knicks. Okay, so let's start off with LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo Ball, I have mentioned him over several videos, and I think I could say he's 50% bust, 50% superstar. That's where I see him. It's almost like, anyway, so let's start off with his positives. LaMelo Ball has high basketball IQ. He sees the floor extremely well. To me, that's the best part of his game. His court vision and IQ, and him and Halliburton are, very high in that area. Offensively, especially for him. Ball handling, he's an excellent ball handler. I'm not quite as concerned about his shot as other people are. And the reason I'm not is because looking at his stats, when I look at LaMelo Ball's stats, he shot, obviously the big glaring thing is he only shot 38% from the field and 25% from three in 12 games in Australia. 12 games is a very small sample size. Also, he shot, 46% from 2-point range, but he shot 72% from the line. A guy can't be a horrible shooter, to me, shooting 72% from the line and taking 4 free throws a game. So whatever his shot situation, I feel he's going to be okay in the long run. His brother's shot was much uglier. His brother was shooting the ball on the wrong side of his face and going like this. He would, cock it back like that. That was pretty bad. But he has actually changed his shot, Lonzo, this year. And strangely enough, Lonzo's 3-point shooting is better than his foul shooting. He shoots still in the 50% range on his foul shot. But his 3-point shots have gone up into the 40s this past season. I don't know what happened in the bubble with Lonzo, why he played so badly. I never actually watched him that closely in the bubble. But he's just an all-round, good point guard. He's not a, big scorer, but the court vision and defense is really good on Lonzo. And that's the same thing with LaMelo. The court vision is good, but I don't know about the defense, but we'll talk about that in a second. But, so his playmaking ability is definitely elite. He definitely is elite on the playmaking ability. Again, he's one of the top in this area. He's only 19. He just turned 19 in August. So he's 19 legit. Going to be 19 for his first NBA season. And again, I'm not as worried about his jump shot. One good thing about his shot that I could tell you, and I looked at his games, from when he's playing with Spire. I looked at some of his high school video. And of course, I looked at video from the Australian League. But he's not going to be shy about putting it up. He don't care about that. So, if you watch him go 3 for 18 and he'll go keep shooting, that's LaMelo. He's not scared of doing that. Okay. So he's not going to be like one of these guys that are going to miss 5 in a row and not going to shoot again or going to pass it up. No, if he's open, he's not going to force a shot now. I don't think. But if he's open or if he feels comfortable, he'll pull. He don't care about what his past he was. And that's another thing that's good about him. One thing about Melo, I think everybody can agree. If you like him or don't like him, you can agree. New York is not going to scare him. New York is not going to scare LaMelo Ball at all. Okay, so he's a playmaker, elite court vision, passing skills off the charts, high IQ, good foul shooter. And I think his jump shot and his 3-point shot will come along. I'm not really worried about that. 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", long wingspan. And he's that part of the thing to talk about his IQ is he knows how to use that length, to get where he wants and to get what he wants done offensively. So I'm not as concerned with that as other people. Defensively is another problem. His brother and him both are very common in that they both high IQ on both ends of the floor. And LaMelo's high IQ on the defensive end of the floor. You can tell he can move himself in the right positions. He definitely does that. He reads offenses and knows what they're trying to do. He definitely does that. And he does it very well. My problem is his commitment to playing defense consistently, both on the ball, no pun intended, and as a team for 24 seconds. Okay. He has the ability to do it. That's not a problem. He has the ability to do it. I mean, his hips move right. His feet move right when he wants them to. But does he want him to? And we have to remember he's coming in playing for Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau, and that's the other thing. Let's talk about some negatives. That's one, the defense. The other thing, to me, that's a negative is I don't know. I see a little bit of prima donna in him. I see a little bit of prima donna with his father, and Tom Thibodeau. I've watched Tom Thibodeau from when he was an assistant on the Knicks, when they won the championship with him as assistant on the Celtics and the defensive specialist for the Celtics. And I've seen him a long time. And then Chicago and Minnesota. The cat's a pit bull, man. Okay? Don't come messing with his team because he'll bite you. I mean, that's Tom Thibodeau. He don't care about anything in terms of, your fanfare. He's just not going to do that. Okay? So, LeVar could come in and talk anything he want. Tom's not going to give a crap. That's just how it is. And I already told y'all, and never in his coaching career, when he's calling the shots, has he started a rookie. And he has never started no 19-year-old rookie point guard. So if let's say he's going to make an exception with Melo, he's going to be all in Melo. He's going to be all in Melo's behind, man, because he wants some defense. Okay. He's going to want some defense. All right. And you're going to need to have it's going to be very important that Frank starts next to him. Or you better get somebody that can play defense next to him. Okay? Cause what we don't want, and again, this is one of the things that have driven me crazy for the last 20 years for the Knicks, is they will get players, with the exception of when they had Shump, when Shump rookie year and he played for the Knicks before they traded in Cleveland. That's the exception. Other than that, since, Charlie Ward retired, they let any scrub with a dribble come into the lane. I mean, it drives me crazy, man. And so I'm not Tom Thibodeau. So I can tell you he's not going to have that. So yeah, we can't have that in the front. We can't. That's why I'm saying we need somebody at the point of attack that's not going to allow the opposing guards to get into the paint. Once you let people, I mean, that's what you Knicks fans want from a guard, an attacking downhill guard. Why? Because you want him to get into the paint so that he can create havoc by either kicking it out, dishing it off, or going to the hole, right? Well, it's the same thing on our end. Only thing we've been allowing every scrub, with an NBA contract to get into the lane. Like I said, I mentioned McConnell, Ish Smith. We be allowing everybody to get into the lane, man. So that can't happen. Okay. So it's possible that LaMelo will commit to defense. And that won't happen if that's the situation. Now listen, I'm not worried about his shot. I think his shot's going to come around eventually. But if it doesn't, if he commits to defense on a high level, uses that IQ that I know he has, and the ability I know he has to play defense, as well as the playmaking skill we could all see that he has. You got the playmaking skills, court vision. He's going to be good, man. Even without a good shot, he's going to be better than his brother, because the difference between him and his brother is his brother doesn't shoot free throws well. He just doesn't. He has not This is his third year in the league, I think, or fourth for Lonzo, and he plays a lot of minutes, but he has not ever shot free throws well at all, man. And I'll be like, I mean, shoot, I mean, so anyway, that's my problem. But LaMelo, his brother, LaMelo shoots. He can shoot free throws. Like I said, 72 is 72. I don't care what league is it. Nobody's guarding you at the free throw line. So, and like I said, what I like about LaMelo Ball on the positive, one of the positives I mentioned is he don't get shook. He's not going to get shook. The guard's not going to shake him. The media's not going to shake him. He's not going to be shook by nobody. That's not going to happen. He's got ice in his veins for real. I'm not concerned with that. In fact, and that's a big positive to me because you can't come to New York unless unless you're ready. And as far as mentally, he ready. See, Lonzo Ball shot 57% from the free throw line this past season, 49% from the line for his career. That's horrible. He shot 38% from three this past year. So that was big time. And of course, he's an all-round player, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And that's pretty much you're going to get from LaMelo too. You're going to get 6 or 7 rebounds, 6 or 7 assists. Okay. He's going to do that. And like I said, if we can get some commitment on defense from him, I'll buy into it. I would not trade up for him. Because, and this is, okay, so let's talk about the rumors. I don't listen to the 90% of the rumors out there. I don't pay no attention to them. I don't pay no attention to the 90% of the rumors out there because most of it is garbage. Okay. But this one is a little different and I'll tell you why. First, let me tell you what it is. There's an article, a Pistons channel put it out and there's an article, from, the SB Nation covering Detroit. Right, covering the Pistons, guy's named Lazarus Johnson. I'm going to put the link to the article in the description box. But interesting enough. Okay, so the Knicks interviewed Isaac Okoro. Okay, and after they interviewed him, he came to the media and they asked him about the Knicks. And let me I just wonder if I could put a quote up what he said. I must have got the quote in another. Well, first, this was in September and early October. And then what he did was, after that, he had spoken to a couple of teams. He canceled the rest of his Zoom calls. Like he was supposed to have a Zoom call with a bunch of teams. Like a lot of players had a Zoom call with any reporter that wanted to come out and they would be from representing different teams. He canceled his. And what he said, I wish I could find the quote. I don't have it here. He said, it would be nice to play for Tom Thibodeau, Okoro said. He said, it'd be nice to play for Tom Thibodeau. He said, because he's a defensive coach and I could really help that team. He said, but I very much doubt that I will be there at 8. He said, I doubt I'll be there at 8. That's what Okoro said. Now, from what I've been checking, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks want him. Okay. And it's like this. Now here's the mock draft part. This is the easy mock draft part. Listen, first 3 teams, right? Minnesota, Golden State, Charlotte. Okay. Edwards, Ball, and Wiseman are going to go to one of those 3. That's all I'm saying to you. Those 3 will be gone in the first 3 picks. Now, Minnesota and Golden State might trade once they get their pick. They might trade with somebody. Okay. Whoever Charlotte gets of the 3, they're not trading for anybody because Charlotte needs talent and they need just as badly star power. So if like LaMelo dropped to them, they're not trading him because Michael Jordan, he's a businessman. Not only is he one of the greatest NBA players ever, but he's a businessman. And they're in Charlotte, North Carolina. So LaMelo Ball is going to bring fannies in the seats. Never mind even how he actually plays. And if they do draft LaMelo Ball as Charlotte, watch for Scary Terry to come to the Knicks. Watch for Scary Terry to come to the Knicks in exchange for Julius Randle and a pick. Charlotte's 32nd pick or whatever. Watch for that. Okay? Now, that would be a boring, for you New York Knicks fans, you looking at the flash and dash of LaMelo and all of a sudden you end up with Scary Terry. That would not be cool, right? But Scary Terry is solid. He's definitely not a superstar, but he is definitely solid on both ends of the floor, and he shoots over 30% from three. If LaMelo Ball goes to Charlotte, watch for a trade involving Terry Rozier and the New York Knicks and Julius Randle. Watch. Okay? Okay, I'm telling you. But the first three is those three, and the first two teams might be looking to trade their pick. Charlotte, whoever, if Wiseman drops to him, if the Ball drops to him, Edwards drops to him, whoever drops to Charlotte ain't going nowhere. Charlotte keeping it. Okay? Charlotte keeping it. Whoever drops to Charlotte ain't going nowhere. I'll tell you that right now. The next three is where it's interesting, because I've long said from the beginning of this process that both Atlanta and Cleveland are wild cards, because you don't know what they're going to pick. I mean, Cleveland could use, they could use Onyeka Okongwu. They can pick Deni Avdija. They can pick, there's a lot of guys that Cleveland could use. Matter of fact, let's go with, Deni Avdija is going to Chicago. Deni Avdija is going to Chicago. Number 4. Okay? Now, there might be some trade going on, and he might end up with Golden State or whatever. That's another thing. But in terms of the pick, Deni Avdija is going to Chicago. Okay, so you got the first three are Wiseman, Edwards, and Ball in no particular order. Number 4, Avdija is going to Chicago. They love him. I looked at their Chicago media. I look at their reporters. They are banking on getting Deni Avdija. I'd be shocked if they didn't pick him. Then the 5th is Cleveland. Cleveland is going to take either Okoro or Obi Toppin. They're going to take one of those two. Okay. And Atlanta is going to take the other one at 6. So Obi Toppin and Okoro is going to go either to Atlanta or Charlotte. Okay. Detroit. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where the article comes in. Okay. Another point, aside from Okoro telling the Knicks he's not going to be there at 8. Because this is no crazy thing for a guy to be getting guarantees from a team. If a team really likes a guy and they interview him and they say to you, if you're there when we pick, we're picking you. Okay? I believe either Cleveland or Atlanta has already told Okoro that. Okay. And he could fit with either of those two teams. So, and the other one's Obi. That's the shocker to me. I could see Obi going to Cleveland. I don't know why Atlanta would take him. I just don't understand that, because they got John Collins at the 4. They got Clint Capella coming back, unless they're planning on trading one of those two guys. It's going to be hard for them to move Capella because of his contract, and that leaves John Collins. So I don't know why Atlanta, if I'm Atlanta, I'm taking either Onyeka or I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton, okay, or Killian Hayes. But anyway, Detroit is the wild card. Now, and this is the interesting thing. The news in this article from insiders in Detroit management is that Detroit wants no part of LaMelo Ball. They want no part of the LaMelo Ball. They said even if he drops to 7, they're not taking him. Okay? Even if he drops to 7, they're not taking him. Now, from the same article, from my understanding, on Detroit's board, Tyrese Halliburton, Killian Hayes, Patrick Williams, and some of you guys are like this, RJ Hampton. That's who they have on their board. Okay? Now, I'm not high on Hampton, but that's their business. But I can understand the rest of them picks. They got Patrick Williams looking at him at 6. Now, I think they'll end up taking, and this is another thing. Wait, let me throw in another thing. Halliburton has said he liked Detroit, and he wouldn't mind paying for Detroit at all. His agent is Aaron Mintz, and Aaron Mintz is trying to steer him away. Started trying to discourage the Pistons from drafting him, because he also represents the shooting guard from Duke over there. I forgot the kid's name. He represents that kid, and there's some sort of beef, which I don't understand what that has to do with his client Halliburton. His client makes more money every draft stock, every pick he's up. So why would you let him slide past 7 anyway? But that's another thing. I have the idea that's not going to discourage Detroit from drafting Halliburton if they really wanted him. But also, apparently Killian Hayes liked Detroit and Detroit liked Killian Hayes. So I'm thinking Killian Hayes to Detroit. If he's there, and I always thought that, but if he's there, and I told y'all, if Killian Hayes is drafted prior to 7, like let's say Atlanta took Killian Hayes, right? Then Detroit's taking Kyra Lewis. I really believe Detroit's taking Kyra Lewis in that scenario. I don't think they're going to let Kyra. Okay, so I think that, but let's say for now, it's going to go Ball, Edwards, and Wiseman in whatever order, top 3. At 4, Denny Avdiva. At 5 and 6, either Obi Toppin and Okoro in no particular order. So by the time you get to Detroit, Obi's off the board, Okoro's off the board, Denny's off the board, Wiseman's off the board, Ball is off the board, probably trade bait, and then Edwards is off the board, maybe trade bait. Okay? I don't think if anybody drafts, I don't think if Golden State, which I think Golden State should draft Wiseman, to me, if they were going to keep the pick. But I don't think any team that drafts Wiseman is going to trade him. I think they're going to keep him. As a matter of fact, Wiseman refused to work out for Minnesota. He has his representation to let it know he don't want to go to Minnesota. So Minnesota's not picking Wiseman. I can tell you that right now. They're not picking him. Okay. He don't want to go to Minnesota, and he's let his agents and his reps has let Minnesota know, don't pick me. He don't want Minnesota. So that means and I think Minnesota's going to comply with that because he was pretty adamant. So that means Golden State or Charlotte is going to take James Wiseman. Whoever takes him, I think is going to keep him. So he's going to be there. But, so these guys are all off the board. By the time Detroit comes, then you go to 7 and you got, I think Killian Hayes is their pick. So for the Knicks, we have now at 8, Halliburton's on the board. Devin Vassell's on the board. Okay. Patrick Williams is on the board. I don't think they're going to take Kyra Lewis. I don't think so. I hope obviously, y'all know what I feel. I want them to take Devin Vassell. Okay. If they did take Devin Vassell at 8, I see Onyeka Okongwu going to Washington at 9. Okay. I see Onyeka Okongwu going at 9. They might take Patrick Williams. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But at 10 with Phoenix, Kyra Lewis. If Kyra Lewis is not chosen by Detroit, he's going to Phoenix at 10. Okay. If he's not picked by Detroit, he's going to Phoenix at 10. All right. Now, this leaves 11 and 12. If Patrick Williams is on the board at 11, I cannot see San Antonio letting him slip by. I can't see that. That's too good of a situation. But this opens up a situation for the Knicks. Why? San Antonio has 2 bad contracts. They got LaMarcus Aldridge, who's going to be getting paid somewhere near $25 million this year in the final year of his deal at age 35. They have age 31 DeMar DeRozan, who's going to opt into his $27 million. Okay. They're probably, I don't know what they're going to do with DeRozan because he's going to be more valuable than LaMarcus Aldridge at age 35. So I'm saying, and this is one of the rare times I would trade one of my draft picks, but I'm saying 27 and 38 with Julius Randle to San Antonio for the 11th pick, which we're going to have Patrick Williams and LaMarcus Aldridge. Now, I'm not doing this for LaMarcus Aldridge. He's a bad contract, but we could trade him at the trade deadline to a playoff team that wants to deal with him. Okay. I mean, cause he's 35, but he's a vet and he's going to want a ring, and he went to San Antonio to win a ring, and he definitely don't like New York, but I don't care what he feels. I'm saying we get LaMarcus Aldridge in the 11th pick, and we trade Julius Randle, and 27 and 38. That's what I would do that to get Patrick Williams. Okay. So now that's that scenario. And if San Antonio balks at that, The next one up at 12 is Sacramento. I'm trading Julius Randle. And I'm not giving them both my picks. I'll give them Julius Randle. I'll give him 38 because we're going to buy another second round pick from what I'm understanding. I'll give him 38 in Julius Randle, and they give me 12 in Buddy Hield, who don't want to be there, who has not answered the management calls, who they have just signed, and they're going to have to pay him $25 million this year. And so I'd rather have Bogdanovich, honestly, or Beasley, but this is a deal that gets us the 12th pick. And we get a shooter in Buddy Hield. We get a shooter at the 2 in Buddy Hield, okay? But those are possibilities, okay? So you can have Randle. We take Buddy Hield. We take your 12th pick. We give you 38. And, that's that. Money matches on both with them and San Antonio with LaMarcus Aldridge. I like the San Antonio deal better. San Antonio are not suckers, though. So that's why I offered them too, because I know they're not stupid. So 27 and 38 for your 11. We'll take Patrick Williams. You could have, and we'll take LaMarcus Aldridge off your hand, and you could have Julius Randle. That's the way I'm looking at that. So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, but I think Okoro is definitely going to be gone by the 6th pick. He's not going to be there. So either Cleveland or Atlanta is going to take him, and then you're going to have Obi Toppin. I'm just still shocked that somebody thinks Atlanta's going to take Obi Toppin. I'd be surprised. I can see Cleveland doing it. I can definitely, and Cleveland has worked him out. It was in the news already. Cleveland has went to New Jersey and worked him out. So they used him as one of the 10 workouts. And so they worked him out. I think they're set, though. I think Cleveland has decided it's either going to be Obi Toppin or Okoro. I don't think they're even wasting time on anything else. I think they're just looking at them two. So that's what's going on. That's the thing. So where does that leave LaMelo Ball? Well, he's not going to be picked at 7 by Detroit. Okay, he's not. He's not going to be picked at 4 by Cleveland. Okay, so let's say that either the Warriors or the Timberwolves pick LaMelo Ball for trade bait. Well, Charlotte not going to take him because they're going to take Wiseman or Edwards, and they're not moving off that. I'm telling you, they're going to take that. At 4, Detroit might be interested. That's a possibility. I mean, not Detroit, sorry. Chicago might be interested at 4. That's a possibility. I could tell you right now, Atlanta's not interested. They're not going to budge on that with Trae Young. They're basically playing the same spot. That's not going to happen. Okay. Cleveland they just drafted Sexton and Garland. They're not taking them. Okay. And so Detroit has already said, even if he drops to 7, we're not taking him. That would be embarrassing though. LaMelo drops to 7 and then Detroit picks Killian Hayes. So if he drops to 8, so I think the strongest deal will be in Chicago. I think Chicago might take him. I think Chicago might take him unless he strongly states he don't want Chicago or whatever. Because players do have some juice these days. You know, they can choose like he's doing, not to work out for teams, not to interview with teams or to mess up the interviews. They could do all that. So it's very possible that LaMelo Ball will come to the Knicks. I'm not giving the Kings ransom for this kid. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not giving it. Forget any of our young players. That's not happening. Okay. Maybe if they were, stupid, if they're going to give him the 8th pick for the 2nd pick, okay. But I'm not giving up Frank. I'm not giving up Mitch. I'm not giving up Kevin. I'm not giving up RJ. No. Not for LaMelo Ball. No. If you were talking about Luka, that's a different story. Okay, if you talk about Luka Doncic, okay, we could talk about that. But we ain't talking about Luka Doncic. We talking about 50% possibility of a bust. No. So if he falls to 8, I think they have to pick him. Because the media hype and everything is so much. He's already like a rock star in the media, so they will have to pick him if he falls to 8. We'll see what happens, y'all. This is going to get interesting. So I don't think the Knicks are going to get him though. I think he's going to end up in one of the top 2 teams, 3 teams that pick him. or with Chicago. That's probably what's going to happen because Chicago will pay the ransom. So I think it'll be one of those in Chicago or Chicago for LaMelo. I don't think he's going to drop to us. So we're going to have to choose between Halliburton and Devin Vassell. Really, what we're going to have to do. We're going to choose between Halliburton and Devin Vassell. That's what we're going to get. I would choose Vassell. I love Halliburton, but Vassell's my guy. I'm Florida State this year, baby. I'm Florida State all the way. So I would get Vassell. Then I would make a deal with San Antonio, take LaMarcus Archers off their hands, and give me Mr. Williams. That's what I'm talking about. So, what do y'all think? Please have a safe day. Shalom.